Why do we breathe? We breathe to live, that is common. So let's see how do we breathe and what are the parts involved in the respiratory system. We are even going to see about some special features of our respiratory system and why it is one of the most curious parts of our human body. Please take care of your lungs every day. So let's begin. First, this is the respiratory system. This is a small diagram to explain how the respiratory system looks, and this is the working model. First, we have the nasal cavity, which is nothing but our nose. When we inhale, we take in oxygen. This oxygen is important for our survival because it reaches the heart and the heart uses the oxygen to pump blood to all parts of our body. The left lung has a small thin connection with the heart, which makes the air present in the left lung get filtered and enter the heart, which is oxygen. So when we breathe, the oxygen and carbon dioxide both enter our body. The oxygen and carbon dioxide have entered through the nasal cavity and they are rushing through the windpipe. There are two pipes in our body. One is the foot pipe, which is the esophagus, and the other one is the windpipe. Both of these are linked. So sometimes we might choke when we are talking and breathing at the same time and talking and eating. That's why never talk while eating. So when we inhale air, it rushes to the windpipe and reaches the bronchus. The bronchus is a section of the lungs where the windpipe, which is a thick structure, splits into two parts. This can be resembled in the shape of a Y. And as the bronchus expands and it goes into the lungs deeply, it thins and resembles a needle-like shape. And from here you can see that there are small veins which are called as bronchioles and alveoli. So these holes which are in purple color are bronchioles. These holes play an important part in our respiratory system. When we take in air, the air enters these bronchioles and it filters the good air from the bad air, which means that it filters the oxygen from the carbon dioxide. The carbon dioxide is released from the body when the oxygen is stored in the alveoli and bronchioles. When the carbon dioxide is released from the body, it rushes back to the windpipe and gets expelled by the nasal cavity. This is the basic working of the lungs. So first I have a small working model to show you how it works. You can see that when I am releasing air through these straws, they act as the nasal cavity. And whenever they enter here, which is the bronchus, the split section, they split into two parts. The air is transported to the left lung and the right lung. The left lung contains two lobes, upper lobe and middle lobe. Upper lobe and lower lobe. The right lung contains three lobes, upper lobe, middle lobe and lower lobe. The absence of one lobe in the left lung makes up space for the heart. The heart and the lungs, as mentioned, have a thin connection which supplies the oxygen to the heart. The heart then pumps the oxygen and mixes it with the blood so that the blood can flow and reach all parts of our body, thus enabling us to live and survive. So, why do we breathe? To live, right? So, how is breathing connected to living and energy? We take in food, okay? We take in food and it is a complex molecule of everything packed together. Nutrition, diets and everything like nutrients, starch, vitamins, all of these are in a single molecule and it is very complicated. So the stomach and the digestive system can't digest this properly. So when we take in oxygen, the heart enables it to reach some parts of our body where the food too reaches. When this oxygen mixes with the food, then the food splits into several components. Nutrients are separated, starch is separated, vitamins is separated. So everything becomes simpler and the stomach can digest them easier. Each part and each thing which is the part of our food is sent to different sections of the body. This is how breathing is connected to digestive system. Breathing is very important for our survival. There are two types of breathing and respiratory systems. One is the aerobic respiration, which we normally do, taking in oxygen, releasing carbon dioxide. And the anaerobic respiration does not normally take place in humans, but it does sometimes when you're running at a high speed. You see that you're breathless, but the anaerobic respiration is taking place and keeping you alive. The anaerobic acid. This lactic acid is used by the digestive system for other purposes. So sometimes when you're running at a high speed, the nerves are blocked and the lactic acid can't go anywhere. It is trapped between the muscles. Due to this, muscle cramps occur and it pains a lot because of the accumulation of lactic acid in the joints and the muscles. During this case, it is best to go for a hot water bath or a massage, and this will relieve your lungs and make the muscles relax so that the lactic acid can take its way and reach the digestive system and other parts of the body. So you can see that the bronchioles are one of the most important parts of the lungs. The main function of the respiratory system is to exchange the oxygen and carbon dioxide in the air. So when we inhale air, we take the oxygen, and when we expel air, then we expel the carbon dioxide. Sometimes you may have noticed that you are having to sneeze a lot. That is because you might have inhaled a lot of dust. Whenever dust enters your nasal cavity, it disturbs the natural lining of the nasal cavity. Due to this, the nasal cavity is irritated and the oxygen supply can't flow freely. So the bronchus receives a message that it can't receive air, and the brain acts to this by using all the carbon dioxide which has accumulated in the lungs in a great force, so that all the carbon dioxide reaches the nasal cavity and the particles which have fallen to the lungs are expelled outside. This makes sure that the carbon dioxide and the foreign particles are expelled and we can breathe normally again. Never breathe polluted air as it may damage the bronchus. When we sneeze with too much force, it may damage the nasal cavity, oral cavity or larynx. Larynx is even a part of the respiratory system. It is near the sound box. The larynx enables the oxygen to go in properly and enables the carbon dioxide to go out properly. Without this, both the gases have been mixed and it might have formed a complete mess. So the larynx is very important. We even have the trachea. It is a thin lining of the nose which splits. It is near the bronchus, and the sound box is also present near the bronchus, as it is the place where the oxygen splits into two parts. The sound box takes in the oxygen, and the oxygen is sent out through our mouth in a specific pitch so that we are enabled to talk our languages, and each person has a different sound box. Do you know this? It is enabled by them through the language they speak from birth. This is a well-known fact which has come in light during the recent years. We have known a lot of facts about the lungs and the brain. These are one of the most mysterious body parts yet, because we have a lot to discover about them. We have to know about their working still. And there's another part called the diaphragm. It acts as the floor of the muscular cavity. It is a muscular cavity and it acts as the floor of the lungs. If the diaphragm was absent, one lung would move at a specific pace and the other lung would move at another pace. Due to this, the thin connection between the heart and the lungs would have split, causing the lungs to all mess up and the heart not being able to function properly. So diaphragm too is a very important part in the respiratory system. This is the whole respiratory system and the working model. I have used balloons actually to show you how the lung expands and contracts. These are the rib cage, as everyone knows. The rib cage surrounds the lungs and they have 12 ribs on each side. This protects the lungs from external forces. So be careful about your breathing. Do not smoke or vape, as this damages the nasal cavity and the oral cavity. This even results in cancer sometimes, lung cancer. Due to this, we cannot breathe and we soon die. So please do not smoke, as it damages your lungs very fast. And with your lungs, it even damages your living. Don't do that. And don't even take drugs, as it is very harmful for your sound box and your mouth. And next, this is the healthy lung, which is light and dark pink in color. But this is a smoker's lung. It is dark and mottled because it has experienced a lot of smoke and carbon dioxide, and now it can't function properly. So please take care of your lungs, breathe happily and live happily. Thank you everyone, and before we go, here is a book which I am going to review soon. So if you want more videos like this, then hit the like button, subscribe to my channel and check my channel